I'm very much happy to invite Dr. Jayamol, teaching in Vaikunta Balika Law College, Udupi. Actually, she was my senior in my post-graduation in Karivattangi campus. I completed some years of practice and then turned back to the academics. And I address her Dr. Jayamol because she has just submitted her PhD thesis 2 days ago. So, welcoming Dr. Jayamol to the event. She is making a presentation on food safety and standards issues, which is a very big problem these days. We just listen to news across our country that people are having some food from some restaurant and then they are facing problems. Some people died. Some small child in Kasaragod had to be like she has succumbed to this outside food, shawarma, and kind of many, not only shawarma. We don't allege or accuse any particular food item only. It is a part of right to food that basic necessity as well. Then safe food also is a basic right. To how far our laws and policies are ensuring food safety in our country. So I think our screen is having some problem. We will fix it. In the meantime, I welcome Jayamo and request her to start our presentation. Come on.
Can you hear me? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible? Hello, Kireet sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Kireet sir, for a wonderful introduction about me. Respected chair, presenters, organizers, and the participants. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Jayapur PS. I'm presenting the paper on food safety and standards issues and strategies in the international trade. And I'm presenting this paper on behalf of my presenter, Assistant Professor, Karnataka State Law University, Pune. So, starting with the topic of the title, growing concern. As everyone knows that right to food is a fundamental right. It is a basic right, and at the same time, food safety is also getting momentum during this between this 20th century. So, what exactly the food safety is? Food safety refers to the conditions and practices that preserve the quality of food, prevent contamination, and promote illnesses. So, food safety, and when it comes to the international trade, the food safety has a very important concern among the member nations. So, then there is a question: what is international trade? What is the relevance of food safety in international trade? So, international trade refers to the exchange of goods and services between the countries, and it means the export and import of goods and services. So, in the international trade, when food articles, when it is exported, means with regard to the international trade, there are two important things. That is, with regard to the food safety, that is the international market and the domestic market. So when it comes to the international market, food safety is very important. Why? Because in the at present in this globalization era, it is there is food articles. It doesn't have any seasons, or it doesn't have any horizons. Means any type of food, that every type of foods or whatever may be, that is available in all the seasons and in all the regions. So irrespective of the seasons and irrespective of the borders, irrespective of the countries, all types of foods are available everywhere. So if there is any small contamination of a food or a food problem, food safety issues, or a foodborne illness, it may spread rapidly among the nations. So in this aspect, the horizons exposed by the international trade and globalization made it mandatory for the states to adhere to the international standards in their export commodities. Otherwise, in most of the cases, it happened to India. Our food products that has been declared in the international market, saying that we are not complying with the international food safety standards. So that will adversely affect our economy. And by coming to the objectives of the paper, to analyze the strategies adopted by the international organizations to ensure food safety and to examine the importance of food safety and its relevance in the international trade, and also to shed light into the issues involved with the international trade to ensure food safety, and finally to put forward some suggestions in this regard. So, starting with the international strategies to ensure food safety, that we can see that starting with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone knows that Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it speaks about the right to life, dignified life, and along with that, the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 agendas. So, it also ensures the food safety or the right to live with dignified life. And along with that, recently we had an international convention, so that has been conducted in Addis Ababa in the year 2019. So that international convention also emphasizes the need to ensure food safety for the masses. And along with that, when we look into the international institutions to ensure the food safety, we know that we have the World Health Organization, the Food and Agricultural Organization, the World Trade Organization, and the joint WHO and FAO initiative, that is the SPS agreement, DBT agreement, and more than that, the International Food Safety Standards Center, that is the Codex Alimentarius. So all these standard setting agencies are there to ensure food safety in the international regime. So by looking into the consequences of unsafe food in the global market, we can see that safety issues that threatens the food safety, that is three in nature. That is mainly three in nature. Okay, that is the biological, chemical, or physical. And the report of the World Bank that says that the total cost of foodborne diseases in the developing countries comes around 100 billion per year. And not only that, the consumption of unsafe food claims the lives of hundreds of people every year and pushes millions of people to feel sick. And the European Commission also warns about the food fraud. So it says that about 30 million euros they spend for every year means to prevent these foodborne frauds. And while coming to the international, let us analyze the international institutions relating to the food safety, ensure the food safety. That is, while coming to the World Health Organizations, we know that what are the objectives of the World Health Organizations, what role they are doing to ensure the food safety, all those things. So the accomplishment of the highest possible level of health by the global community, that is to be done by the World Health Organization. And it along with the specialized agency of the United Nations, the Food and Agriculture, it emphasizes that access to adequate nutrition is a right of each individual. And the strategies based on the risk, they work on the strategies based on risk analysis and risk. Hello. So it works on the hello. Can you hear me? Great, sir. Am I audible? Then while coming to the Food and Agricultural Organization, so it also prescribes the measures to strengthen the capacity building in the nation's food system, which is based on careful identification, analysis of the risks, and prioritization of requirements of the food safety system. Now, while coming to the World Trade Organization, World Trade Organization, it is based on the fundamental principle of non-discrimination. And it is based on the objective that the trading system should be free, predictable, more competitive, and more beneficial for less developed nations. And this World Trade Organization, so it is in response to the more demand for the food safety. It's as a result of this globalization, the demand for the food safety that feeling has been accelerated among the people. So as a result of that, the level and scope of regulations relating to food products have been made more stringent by the World Trade Organization. And while coming to the SPS agreement, that means sanitary and phytosanitary agreement, that is also an initiative of the World Health Organization and FAO. It's the joint venture of FAO and World Health Organization. So this SPS agreement mainly consists of 14 articles and 3 appendices, and it specifies rules and disciplines to guide the development, adoption, and enforcement of SPS measures to minimize the negative effect on trade. And this SPS agreement that mainly focuses on the food safety issues. Means the SP extends protection against pests and pathogens. The agreement is based on some principles to facilitate international trade. And while coming to this TBT agreement, the agreement corroborates the SPS agreement, but it is different. So it covers all the technical regulations and standards, that is packaging, labeling, and labeling requirements, all those things that has to be dealt by this TBT agreement. And along with that, International Standard Organization ISO is there, and the Codex Alimentarius Commission is there. So this Codex Alimentarius, it is one of the most important, or it is the standard setting body, international standard setting body relating to food safety issues. So it provides guidelines for the risk assessment as a scientifically based process consisting of 4 steps. So the hazard identification, hazard characterization, exposure assessment, and risk characterization. So this this Codex Alimentarius, as I submitted earlier, it is one of the most important international standard setting body. And as per that, this based on this Codex Alimentarius, even though it is a non-voluntary body, it has to be complied by all the member nations. And relating to this ISPS and TBT agreement, there are DSU, that is Dispute Settlement Understanding. Dispute Settlement Body, DSB. So this DSB, it has to handle the cases coming under the world, global level relating to the food safety. Now, coming to the issues relating to the food safety, in order to ensure food safety in the global market, what are the issues that is mainly faced by these international bodies? That is relating to that, the DSU depends on the effective participation of developing countries. That is, the efficacy, the success of the dispute settlement body, that depends on the effective participation of the developing countries. So there is a question whether they are getting active participation in this dispute settlement bodies. That is also a question to be answered. And another thing is that it is more technical in nature. The Codex Alimentarius Commission, the standard setting or the yardsticks prescribed by the Codex, it is very technical in nature. And at the same time, SPS and the TBT agreements also, that is also that it is little bit confusing, it is little bit technical for the developing nations to understand or to comply with. And most of the cases, the developing countries, their voice, more than them, the voice of the developed nations, it gets more momentum with regard to these dispute settlement bodies and all. And poor infrastructure to the developing and underdeveloped countries to ensure the food safety means, even though these standards are prescribed by these international bodies, when it comes to the member nations, they have to comply with all these requirements. But the poor infrastructure that is available within the member nations, that make it difficult for them to comply with all these requirements. So while concluding, I can say that in the international global or international trade or in the global market, food safety has to be ensured. Why? Because when I started my presentation, I told, even though if it is a small contamination, it may spread across the nations within minutes. So that the developing countries should view the task of complying with the SPS standards not just as a barrier, but also as an opportunity to upgrade quality standards and market sophistication in the food safety, food export sector. So that even though they have less infrastructure, even though they have less facilities, or it is not feasible for them to comply with all these requirements, they should somehow they have to develop, or they have to upgrade themselves to these international standards. Otherwise, it will health and life of the millions of people across the globe. And it is not only the business of Codex Alimentarius, or it is not only the business of the World Health Organization. Food safety means that is everyone's business. Everyone should have a concern about to ensure the food safety of the masses. So thank you. I conclude my paper by this, and I thank all the organizers of this international seminar, and especially my friend Girish. Thank you everyone for giving me such a platform.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, I have only one point. Your presentation was wonderful. It was really thought-provoking, very much timely, relevant topic. Please comment on one thing, that in your presentation you have highlighted the developing countries' responsibilities to go by international food safety standards. But in the developing world, we know mainly developing countries are like mostly underdeveloped countries or underprivileged countries having big population living in poverty and destitution or deprivation. So they are struggling for basic necessity of food, livelihood. So in that situation, can they go for maintaining the international food safety standards? Because excellence comes only after existence. That is the saying. So what is your comment on it? Developing countries, they are who are fighting for basic food necessities. How can these countries go for maintaining international food safety standards? What is the solution for such a situation? Please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the same thing I have mentioned in my paper, in my presentation. Like that is the main challenge. That is the main issue that is faced by the international in the global market. Why? Because developing countries they are struggling with less infrastructure. And this WHO, they have given to ensure the capacity building or have to improve the capacity building. All those things, all those measures, all those yardsticks they have given to every member nations. But this developing or developing or the underdeveloped countries, as you said, they are ailing with many ailments. So at that time, it is difficult for them to comply with all these international requirements. But food safety, as I started with that particular sentence only, like in the sense, a minute instance of food safety that may spread across the nations within no time. So that is what happened recently with regard to that. And at the same time, onions that has been imported from Mexico that has contaminated the entire United States. So, like, and many people became ill. Means that food safety hazards that may happen. So it is the duty of the developing countries to somehow they have to be adjusted with the international commitments or international requirements. And for that, even international, even the UN and even the WHO and even FAO, they can help them to a larger extent. So that they are doing, but at the same time, this developing countries also, they have to do something to come up with the requirements of this international trade. Means that is what the issues that I have pointed out in my paper. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So your point is like agencies like World Health Organization, United Nations, Food and Agriculture Organization, all these should not only give standards or not only give rules about standards, but in practical sense, they have to give assistance also to developing countries for coming forward with maintaining food standard. Basic needs are to be satisfied first. Anyway, it was a very good presentation. Anybody joined online to raise any question, because it is in hybrid mode. For a presenter in online, one can talk from the dais only. Otherwise, people should be joining in mobile phone too. So anyway, we are having online as well as offline mode that's going in tandem. In between, we have network issues also. In spite of all this, you have done your presentation well in a befitting manner, taken your time. Thank you and congratulations. You can leave now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.